The political network established by conservative industrialists Charles and David Koch has raised more than $70 million for political races as it looks to help Republicans move past Donald Trump, according to an official with the group. With some of this large sum to start, the network, Americans for Prosperity Action, plans to throw its weight into the GOP presidential nominating contest for the first time in its nearly 20-year history. The network spent nearly $500 million supporting Republican candidates and conservative policies in the 2020 election cycle alone. Two groups closely affiliated with Charles Koch contributed $50 million of the more than $70 million that has been raised. David Koch died of cancer in 2019. Koch is a major shareholder in Koch Industries, which contributed $25 million to Americans for Prosperity Action, according to a preliminary draft of Federal Election Commission filings. Another $25 million was donated by Stand Together, a nonprofit he founded. The Koch network's goal in the 2024 presidential primaries, which has been described only indirectly in written internal communications, is to stop Trump from winning the Republican nomination. In February, a top political official in the network, Emily Seidel, wrote a memo to donors and activists saying it was time to have a president in 2025 who represents a new chapter. Since then, Republican voters have rallied around the former president, with his support in polls strengthening his front-runner status after his two indictments. Some of the biggest donors in Republican politics, including some in the Koch network, had been hanging their hopes on Gov. Ron DeSantis of Florida as Trump's most promising rival. But DeSantis has disconcerted many donors with his early campaign stumbles and a slip in his poll numbers. With 7 months until the primaries, the Koch coalition of conservatives is still searching for who its influential and wealthy donors believe can take down the former president, a reflection of a broader paralysis among anti-Trump Republican donors who have watched in shock as Trump's poll numbers have held despite two indictments. A memo that circulated inside the Koch network this month made the case that Trump's renomination was not inevitable, arguing that the issue of electability could still weaken him. Some top Republican donors, who routinely write 7- or 8-figure checks to support candidates, are keeping their checkbooks closed as they wait to see whether DeSantis can improve or whether another candidate, like Sen. Tim Scott of South Carolina, pops during the summer debates. Their paralysis has benefited Trump, who is begrudgingly viewed by many top party donors as the inevitable nominee. Yet officials in the Koch network profess optimism that 2024 will not be a repeat of 2016, when Trump began winning statewide races with roughly 1/3 of the party's Republican base behind him in a fractured, crowded field. The notion of Trump's inevitability is being pushed by left-leaning media outlets, political operatives and the Trump campaign itself. Michael Palmer, president of the Koch-affiliated voter data group I-360, wrote in a memo this month. For more, subscribe to 24 Hour Radio News.